Have you ever wondered why so many people live their entire lives moving from one day to the next without ever truly touching the things they dream of? They may work hard, they may even be talented, yet something always seems to keep them stuck in the same circle. The reason isn't that they don't deserve more, or that life is unfair to them in particular. The real reason is much deeper and much simpler at the same time. They have never decided, with absolute clarity, what they truly want. They move with blurry goals, shifting dreams, and half-hearted desires. And when the destination is unclear, every path seems confusing, every effort feels wasted, and every small setback looks like a mountain. The first great secret of success is not about resources, not about luck, and not even about talent. It is about purpose. A man or woman who knows exactly what they want, with laser-like precision, suddenly sees doors open that were once invisible. The universe responds to certainty in ways that it never does to doubt. Imagine walking through a dense forest with no map, no compass, no direction. Every step would feel heavy, because you don't know if you're getting closer to freedom or further lost. But now imagine having a clear map in your hand. Even if the forest is dark, even if the road is rough, every step you take carries confidence, because you know where you're going. That is the power of definiteness of purpose. When you define what you want, you give birth to a burning desire. This desire becomes the inner fuel that pushes you to rise when you are tired, to continue when the road gets difficult, and to fight when life throws challenges your way. The absence of clear purpose kills more dreams than failure ever could, because without purpose, you won't even begin the journey with the full force of your heart. Those who succeed in any field of life, from business to art, from leadership to personal growth, start by declaring to themselves, "This is what I want, and I will not stop until it is mine." That declaration transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. But purpose alone isn't enough if you doubt yourself at every step. And this is where the second secret begins. Faith. Not blind faith in chance or destiny, but unwavering faith in your own ability to create results. Faith is the invisible bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, even the clearest purpose can collapse under the weight of fear and hesitation. Think of all the dreams that died, not because they were impossible, but because the dreamer whispered to themselves, "Maybe I'm not good enough." Faith is not something you wait to feel. It is something you build. You build it by affirming to yourself daily that you can, by refusing to accept the poison of doubt, and by acting even when you feel uncertain. Every step forward, even a small one, strengthens your belief. And the stronger your belief, the more unstoppable you become. A person with faith in themselves does not crumble when the world says no. They understand that every no is only a step closer to the yes they are looking for. There will always be critics. There will always be obstacles, and there will always be moments when nothing seems to be working. But the one thing that separates the few who achieve greatness from the many who give up is this inner conviction that says, "I will make it happen." When you hold that conviction, the obstacles shrink, the critics lose power, and failure turns into lessons instead of endings. Think for a moment about the people who changed history. None of them had guarantees. Most of them faced failure more than once. But what they did have was a relentless faith in their vision and in themselves. That faith turned their purpose into reality, and their reality into legacies that inspire the world long after they are gone. When you combine a clear, definite purpose with unshakable faith, you create a force that nothing can stop. There is a truth most people ignore. Knowledge by itself has no power. A man can read hundreds of books, attend endless seminars, and gather countless facts, yet remain stuck in the same position. Information sitting quietly in the mind is nothing more than potential. It changes nothing until it is used. The world is full of intelligent people who never rise, not because they lack understanding, but because they never act on it. The distance between knowing and doing is where dreams either die or become reality. Applied knowledge is the bridge that carries you across that distance. It is the act of taking what you learn and transforming it into results. Think of fire. Wood and sparks mean nothing until they are combined with oxygen and action. In the same way, knowledge is only raw material. To create success, you must apply it deliberately, consistently, and with focus. Every great achievement in history was born not just from ideas, but from the courage to put those ideas into motion. The individual who reads about wealth but never manages their finances remains broke. The one who studies fitness but never practices discipline remains unhealthy. The person who learns about leadership but avoids responsibility never becomes a leader. Life rewards not the thinker alone, but the doer who translates thought into reality. To apply knowledge effectively, you must begin by selecting which knowledge truly matters. Not all information deserves your time. The world today floods you with endless distractions, opinions, theories, useless noise. The key is to filter what aligns with your definite purpose and discard the rest. Then, once you have the right knowledge, act on it immediately. The longer you delay, the weaker the spark becomes until it dies. Immediate application locks ideas into your character and makes them part of your habits. Another truth about applied knowledge is that mistakes are not enemies, they are teachers. When you act on knowledge, you will stumble, you will fail, and you will miscalculate. But each mistake sharpens your understanding in ways no book or lecture ever can. Real wisdom is born through experience, through trial and error, through the courage to put theory into practice. The man who fears mistakes ends up paralyzed, while the one who accepts them as stepping stones ends up climbing higher than he imagined. There is also the discipline of persistence in applied knowledge. Acting once is not enough. Success demands repeated application, day after day, until small actions compound into large victories. Imagine planting a seed. Reading about watering it won't make it grow. Pouring water once won't either. But applying the simple act of watering consistently creates a tree that stands strong for years. Knowledge applied once fades, but knowledge applied continuously becomes power. Yet even with knowledge and action, no one achieves greatness alone. This leads to the next great secret, the Mastermind Alliance. Behind every remarkable success lies the invisible strength of collaboration. The idea of the self-made individual is a myth. Every person who rises to the top does so by standing on the shoulders of others, mentors, partners, allies, visionaries who share their strength, wisdom, and energy. A mastermind alliance is not just friendship or casual networking. It is the deliberate gathering of minds that unite for a common purpose, amplifying each other's strengths and compensating for each other's weaknesses. When two or more people come together with harmony, focus, and a shared goal, something extraordinary is created. It is as if a third invisible mind is born, greater than the sum of its parts. Ideas flow faster, solutions appear clearer, and courage multiplies. One individual may grow weary under the weight of a dream, but in the company of allies, energy renews and resilience grows. Think of great inventors, leaders, and pioneers, but the Mastermind Alliance demands more than simply gathering people. It requires harmony. Without harmony, even the most talented group collapses under conflict and ego. With harmony, even ordinary individuals achieve extraordinary things. True alliance means aligning values, committing to a shared purpose, and offering loyalty to one another. It means being open to receive advice, humble enough to learn, and generous enough to give. This alliance also creates accountability. Alone, it is easy to drift, to procrastinate, to doubt. But when you surround yourself with others who expect your best, you rise to meet that expectation. Their belief in you fuels your own faith. Their progress pushes you to keep pace. In this way, success ceases to be a lonely journey and becomes a shared mission. Imagine combining applied knowledge with a mastermind alliance. You take what you know and put it into action daily, and then you multiply that action by uniting with others who are equally driven. The result is exponential. Knowledge without action is wasted. Action without collaboration is limited. But applied knowledge fueled by a mastermind alliance becomes unstoppable. If you want to move beyond mediocrity, commit to two things. First, apply what you learn without delay. Let no valuable idea die in the pages of a notebook. Second, surround yourself with a circle of minds that lift you higher. Protect that circle with loyalty and contribute to it with sincerity. Do this, and you will discover that life begins to open in ways you once thought impossible. You will no longer be a silent holder of information, but a powerful creator of results. You will no longer be a solitary dreamer, but part of a collective force that turns dreams into reality. And with every step, you will move closer to the kind of success that endures, not just for yourself, but for everyone connected to you, your purpose. There is a moment in every person's life where the difference between reaching greatness and falling back into mediocrity depends on one hidden power: the ability to govern oneself. It is not the power to control others, not the power to force the world to bend, but the quieter, harder, and infinitely more important power to control one's own thoughts, desires, and actions. This is the power of self-discipline. Without it, even the brightest purpose and strongest faith collapse under the weight of distractions and impulses. With it, the ordinary individual becomes unstoppable because they no longer live at the mercy of moods, temptations, or laziness. They live guided by choice, not by chance. Self-discipline begins in the mind. Every thought that enters must be filtered. Does this thought move me closer to my purpose, or does it weaken me? Most people allow their minds to run wild, entertaining every fear, every doubt, every distraction. But the disciplined person chooses what to think, chooses what to feel, chooses how to react. Instead of wasting hours on things that don't matter, they direct energy toward what does. They know that the human mind is like a garden. Left unattended, weeds of doubt and negativity grow. Cultivated with care, it produces the fruits of success. But discipline is not only mental, it is also physical. It is waking up when you promised yourself you would, even when the bed feels warm. It is finishing the work you committed to, even when you feel tired. It is saying no to pleasures that rob you of progress, and yes, to struggles that build your strength. True discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. It frees you from being a slave to impulses and makes you master of your own destiny. The beauty of discipline is that it builds momentum. At first, it feels difficult, even painful, to deny yourself ease for the sake of growth. But with practice, discipline becomes habit, and habit becomes character. The man who forces himself to focus today finds it easier tomorrow, until one day he realizes that what once felt like sacrifice now feels natural. He no longer battles laziness because he has trained himself to act without hesitation. This transformation is the secret behind every long-term achievement in life. Yet discipline alone is not enough if it is not carried through the storms of difficulty. Many begin with enthusiasm, but enthusiasm fades. Many act with focus, but only until the first obstacle appears. Success does not belong to the ones who start fast. It belongs to the ones who never stop. This is the power of persistence. Persistence is the stubborn refusal to quit, no matter how heavy the burden, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how loudly the world tells you to give up. It is the voice inside that whispers, "Try again," even when failure is all you see. Most people surrender just before victory appears. They face rejection, a setback, or a season of struggle, and decide it must mean they are not meant to succeed. But the persistent soul understands a deeper truth. Every setback is only a test. The world is asking, how badly do you want this? Are you willing to endure? Will you continue even when no one believes in you? Persistence transforms failures into stepping stones. Each time you stumble, you rise with more wisdom, more strength, more experience. Each rejection sharpens your determination. Each obstacle strengthens your will. Persistence does not remove difficulties. It makes you stronger than them. It is the shield that protects you from despair and the hammer that breaks through barriers. The greatest victories in history were not achieved by those who never fell, but by those who refused to stay down. Think of the countless stories of innovators, leaders, dreamers who faced failure after failure before finally achieving greatness. They did not succeed because the path was easy. They succeeded because they would not let failure have the final word. Their persistence turned impossible dreams into living realities. Together, discipline and persistence form a twin power that few can rival. Discipline ensures you stay on the path daily, resisting distractions. Persistence ensures you stay on the path yearly, resisting discouragement. One controls the present, the other secures the future. One guards you from wasting today, the other prevents you from abandoning tomorrow. When you live with both, you become like water flowing down a mountain. A rock may block your path, but you do not stop. You move around it, over it, or through it. Slowly, steadily, you carve a new way, until even the hardest stone is worn down by your persistence. You become unstoppable, not because life becomes easy, but because no difficulty can outlast your determination. The truth is, discipline without persistence may begin strong, but will fade. Persistence without discipline may burn with passion, but lacks structure. But when both are united, they create a rhythm of consistency that guarantees growth. You show up every day, and you keep showing up every year. You plant, you water, and you wait, knowing that harvest is inevitable for those who refuse to quit.